Hello, my fellow tree planters. The time has finally come that I am making a quick yoga for tree planters tent yoga edition video. So, the purpose of this video is, in my experience, I've tree planted for 2 years and I'm going back for my 3rd year, if you guys want to know. In my experience, as a yoga person, yoga teacher who tree plants, every time I go into the season, I'm like, oh, this year I'm gonna do yoga when I can every day, blah, blah, blah. But then, and I even tell the camp, oh, we should do a yoga class on like days off. But then the days off come and we're tired, there's bugs, there's rain, people don't really have yoga mats, and we're in the middle of a gravel pit, and who wants to do yoga on a gravel, and there's bugs everywhere. So it's really, it's not super realistic to be like, I'm gonna teach yoga on days off, and nor is it realistic that people are gonna want to be doing yoga on days off. But the reality is that our muscles really need some stretching after a hard day's work. So the purpose of this video is to offer you some simple yoga stretches, yoga-like stretches, that you can do before going to bed in your tent, where there's no bugs, or at least less bugs, I hope, in your tent before you go to bed. So it really offers your body time to recover. And just gonna go on a spiel a little bit more here. I tend to get like restless leg syndrome in my legs after a day of planting, and it makes it hard to sleep and then sometimes I wake up with like cramps in my body, and then waking up the next day and taking those first few steps is painful. But I found that if I stretch my body before I go to sleep, it makes things a little bit better. So that's my purpose of this video. So let's get started. So the setting, let's pretend that I'm in a tent right now, and that there's a sleeping bag here, that there's shit all over the place, it kind of smells weird. That's what we're gonna pretend and use our imagination for now. Okay, cool. Let's start in a child's pose. So child's pose, balasana, big toes come together. Your knees can be together or a little bit wide. I like having my knees a little bit wider apart, but also the reality is that every body is different, and what I do might not work for you, so sort of try to find something that works for you. Okay, child's pose, yes. Sit your hips back, take your forehead down, reach your fingers forward, and breathe. So, as you're laying there in child's pose with your forehead down and you're breathing, I really want you to start focusing on the breath, breathing into your belly, into your back. And that means expanding the breath to more than just your chest area. Your breath can travel through your body, and that's where the healing happens. So breathe into your belly, breathe into your back, breathe into your heart, and as you exhale and you let it go, just feel or imagine that the tension in your body is releasing. That all of that hard work that you put your back through is releasing. And it sounds kind of silly, but once you connect to that, it can get powerful. So just take a few long breaths, and with every exhale, just settle into the earth, into your body. Slow it down. Just connect with yourself. Now you're going to take a big breath in. On the exhale, come onto the tips of your fingers and then walk your fingers towards the right. And then with your left hand, press out a little further, and with your left sitting bone, or your left butt, basically, your left butt rolls or presses away from your left hand. So stretching the left side body. Just take about 5 breaths. in every pose, but of course if you want to hold it longer, please hold it longer. But stay at least 5 breaths. 5 long breaths, not short, wimpy breaths. All right, breath in. As you exhale, we move with the breath. We walk the fingers towards the left. Same thing, this time the right hand reaches up and away from the right sitting bone, the right butt. So the hand and the butt press away from each other so that we can really stretch through the right side body. And breathe. At the end of your next exhale, we're going to inhale, coming back to center, walking yourself up. Now we're kneeling. So we're going to get into the feet now. So just to show you, you're going to come into the balls, or curling the toes under. And then you're going to sit back, and then this is going to be stretching your feet. So this might be a little intense for you, so if you want to stay here and that's where you're at today, that's okay. Just sort of find the place that feels like you're getting a nice stretch, but you're not like in agony that it hurts so much. Okay. All right, so yeah, you might be here, it's all good. Just keep in mind that my body is abnormally flexible, so don't take my body as an example, please. And then from here, we're gonna stretch the wrists and the forearms. Yeah. Okay, so come on up a bit, take your fingers forward, drop them down, sit back a little, and then bring your palms down. Just start walking your palms out. And then if you feel like you can settle here, just settle. Breathe into the sensation. With the exhale, imagine, visualize all of the little tense muscles just releasing. Releasing whatever it needs to let go of. Just about 5 breaths. And we'll switch it up. This time the backs of the hands comes down like this. Getting into the front of the forearms. And for me, it feels good to curl my fingers in and out, but it might not for you, so do what you need to do. Okay, release the hands, shake it out. Release your toes. You can tap them down a little bit too to release. And then sit back with the tops of your feet flat now. And then bring your hands back and start to lean your body back. Maybe your knees lift a bit. We're getting a stretch in the fronts of the feet and the fronts of the ankles now. From all of those uphills we're climbing every day. So just sort of see where you're at here. Breathe into the sensation. And with the exhale, imagine that it's releasing. And slowly come on forward. Come into a tabletop now, so like a table. Wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Let's inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze, lift your seat. Wave your butt from side to side. And then exhale, curl everything in, press the ground away from you, stretching between the shoulder blades. Inhale, drop the belly, lift your gaze, lift your butt. And exhale, curl it in, press the ground away from you. We'll just do one more. Inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, curl it in. Come into a neutral spine. We're gonna extend the right leg back, so come onto your toes. curl the toes under. And then just begin shifting your weight forward and back, stretching the back of that calf. Oh yeah. You can even just like hold it there a little longer. Just really breathe into it. This is a good one. Stretch, 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 and breathe. And then, once you're settled there, we're just gonna take that right foot to the outside of the right hand. And then let's just shift that left knee back a little bit and settle down into, this is what we call lizard pose. So you might be feeling a lot of things here, so just be easy on yourself and just breathe with it. But there is the option here to go down into the elbows as well, but we might not be there because we're probably really tight because we're planting trees every day. Thousands and thousands of trees. So just breathe here. 5 breaths or more. Now we'll take a big breath in. And then exhale, shift the hips back, extend the right leg. Spread your right toes, point your toes towards your face. And your knee might be really bent here, and that's okay. But just think about shifting your right hip back and your left hip forward, and on your inhale, find length in your spine. And feel it all. And with the exhale, you know what to do. Imagine the tension untangling itself in your leg and releasing down into the ground. Just keep spreading your toes. All right, breathe in. On the exhale, let's bend the right knee. Frame that right foot with your hands, and then step it back to your tabletop. We'll do that on the other side. Let's reach the left leg back, coming onto your left toes, and then pressing it back and forward a bit, getting a stretch in the back of that calf. And then you can hold it there. And then we'll pick it up, bring the left hand on the outside of the left foot on the outside of the left hand. Being a yoga teacher is not about perfection. That's what I'm learning. Just like being a great tree planter, you still have bad days sometimes. I mean, I do. I don't know about you, but... Okay, lizard pose. Find your lizard pose. This side might feel a little different from your other side. But just be with that and breathe with that. And after your 5 breaths, big breath in. Exhale, shift your hips back. Extending the left leg this time. Spread your left toes, point your toes towards your face. Think about pressing the left hip back and the right hip forward. On the inhale, find a flat back. Find a little lift in the belly, reaching the heart forward. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and down. And exhale, soften and release. And let go of that tension. Breath in. Exhale, let's bend the left knee. Heel toe that foot to the center and take it back to your tabletop. And then let's just sit back and then swing the feet forward. Almost done. I know that it's hard to take time for ourselves when we're so tired and overworked, but this is good for you, I promise. Okay, so the right foot, the sole of the right foot is on the inside of the left thigh. We're gonna find a little bit of a pressing of the foot and the leg into each other just to keep that connection. Frame your left leg, the tips of your fingers. Inhale, get nice and tall, and then exhale, hinging from that place. You might not go very far, that's okay. All right, now we'll take the left hand on the inside of the left foot, the left leg, and then just open up to the side, so reach your right arm up and over, getting into that low back, the lumbar area where all of the weight sits. Just breathe into it and release it with the exhale. On your next inhale, come on up. Let's place the right hand behind you, and then you're just gonna press your hips up. Get a little stretch in the hip flexors. If you have the space in your tent, you can reach your left arm back, but it might just be on the side, and that's okay. And then come on down. We'll do that on the other side. Switch it up. The sole of the left foot is on the inside of the right leg. Press the foot and the leg into each other just a little bit, framing the right leg with the tips of the fingers. Inhale, get nice and tall, and then exhale, hinging from that place. I like to keep my toes spread even here. I guess I'm just so used to doing that now. Five breaths. And then we'll take the right hand on the inside of the right leg. Left arm reaches up and over. Feeling it in the low back, a bit in that left hip as well. And release. Oh wait, no. And take the right hand, sorry, the left hand behind you. Just gotta roll with it here because I don't want to film this again. Take the left hand behind you and then press your hips up and forward. See what you can do with your right arm here. And exhale, come on down. Bring the soles of your feet down, reach your fingers forward, and roll it down to your back. We're going to do a figure four. So take your right ankle over your left knee. Make sure that you're spreading your right toes to protect your right knee. Interlace your fingers behind your left thigh. Just begin to take it all in towards your chest. So your right elbow can be pressing your right knee just to give a bit of that resistance. You should feel this in your hip. And this might be really good or it might feel really intense. But now that we're connected with our breath, we can use the breath to release and let go. And at the end of your fifth exhale, take it down. Let's release. This time bringing the left ankle over the right knee. Interlace your fingers behind your right thigh. The left elbow is pressing the left knee. Make sure you're spreading your left toes to protect your left knee. And just take it in. See what it feels like. And release. Okay, from here, just take your feet as wide as your bed. Just take your feet a little wider. And then you can have one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart, and then just start to windshield wiper your knees from side to side. Massaging your butt a little bit here. And if it feels good, let your knees go on one side and gaze to one side. Knees to the right, gaze to the left. And then switch it up. Take the knees towards the center, and then knees to the left, gaze to the right. Inhale to center. And then just take your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. And then exhale, release it, let it go. And you're ready for a good night's sleep. And there you go. Well, I hope that this was helpful for you. And feel free to take any of these stretches and not do some of them. It's just to give you an idea of how you can just do a tiny little thing that'll really help you out for your next day and prepare you to have a healthier body while you're planting. And I think that's so important. And remember to drink a lot of water and to put salt in your water and drink water between your drinks on nights off. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions or any particular stretches to stretch particular muscles, you can ask me a question and I will gladly try to reply them as I can. All right. Thank you so much and have a good day.